Welcome to the workbook. My name is Mike Thorne. I spent the first half of my business career in sales and business development, and after spending a year as a vice president of sales for a corporation, I was then asked to take on a role of president of a sports apparel division of their company. Within 15 months, I was fired from that particular role. And after it happened, I had some people that in leadership that I trusted who said, when you're ready, let's have a conversation about what happened. And when we were done with those conversations, it felt like getting hit in the head with a 2x4, but with cushion. And out of that, I spent time on self-reflection and taking into consideration what role did I play in what happened, and then what is it that I want to accomplish as a leader and as a human going forward. And I started to realize that there is a type of company, type of people, and the kind of organization I want to go work for, and that I couldn't do it alone. And so as I transitioned to a new company and a new role, I spent an awful lot of time thinking about what is it that I'm looking for, what is it that gives me energy, what is it that makes me feel great. And I started to put together, informally at first, this concept around, okay, what is it I want? Where do I want to go? What kind of culture works for me? How do I become my true self? And then how do I find people like who I just experienced that I can have as part of my trust community? And that's what I started doing. That is the origin of this concept around a trust community workbook. At that point in time, I switched out of the sporting goods industry and moved into working as president of Yankee Candle, which transformed both my personal and professional career. And most recently, my work is centered on helping leaders become human beings. I'm worried about how we teach leadership in this country, the concept of a command control leader, meaning the person who's in charge by title decides everything. The employees execute only, versus more of a purpose-driven, values-based leader who has done the self-work on themselves and disperses power, so they then give the vision to the organization, but the employees feel empowered to deliver on that vision. That's what we need to get to. The community thrives, the company thrives, and families thrive, and people feel more valued at work. So self-reflection is the number one trait when business leaders are asked, what should young up-and-coming leaders do as a priority? It's self-reflection. Why that's so important is when you think about leading a team, being a family leader or a community leader, the more that you're outwardly focused, meaning that you completely understand who you are and what you're all about, and you're reflecting on how your behavior impacts your community, your company, and your family, the more likely you are to embrace the power of having others work with you. So the idea of being others focused is one of the most critical outcomes of self-reflection. So again, if you're ready to go on a journey to where you want to go as a leader and as a human being, this workbook is for you. Why a workbook? The workbook gives you a framework and a guide to help you answer those questions that I believe every human being spends a lot of time thinking about, but doesn't take action on. And so the workbook allows you to really sit in yourself, spend some time trying to understand what is it that I am trying to create for myself. What is it? So often I find leaders spending a lot of time dreaming about what they really want to be doing, either personally or professionally, but not taking action on it. And I find myself going through the workbook and having others use the workbook, and from the feedback I'm getting from people, is it gives them the clarity, the confidence, and the energy to start acting on their dreams and wishes versus their history and their past. The workbook consists of multiple videos, which I will start by introducing the key concepts along with additional materials and prompts to help you along your journey. The prompts that we have in the workbook allow you to self-reflect in a more directed way. Often I find people don't know where to begin, so the prompts are allowing you to be able to start to really do this self-reflection in a directed way. The most important thing when you do this self-work, if you are a command control leader, that's all you've ever observed or that's all you know, when you start to self-reflect, you begin to understand what role you're playing in your own life that may be impacting how you show up for your family, how you show up for your community, and how you show up for your organization. And your ability to let go of some of the things that you're not perfect at allows other people to help support you in a bigger way. So I think that ability just to let go and free yourself of this idea of being perfect because you happen to have a title that says you have all the answers is why I believe this workbook is so valuable. It's been in my experience and in those that work with it is, it's not a test. You're not going to go through it and try to get a score and say you're either going to be successful or you're not. It's defined enough, the questions are, but it allows you to do the inner work on yourself so that you discover what it is that you want. This is about you. This is about your personal journey and how you see yourself going forward. It may take 2, 3, 4 times going through it to get the clarity you need to start to move forward. But just realize this is just for you. This is not going to be something you're going to hand in to somebody else to give you an evaluation. This is not something that you're going to be sharing with people if you don't want to. It's really an opportunity for you to sit down and really understand yourself and discover where it is you want to go in your own way. The questions are there to prompt you to think about things, but there's no right answer and there's no wrong answer. Here's the cool thing. When you're done, it's your journey and it's your thoughts, and then we can start to move forward. Now that you got a chance to get to know me, you've had an opportunity to experience the foundational aspects of the workbook. The next step is to move into things like North Star and personal trust communities. And I look forward to seeing you in Module 2. And thanks for going on the journey with me.